Hey guys, welcome back to the shop for another week of SNS. So I think this week is going to be a little bit more vlog style. I've got a lot of different things that's been going on around the shop here. So we've got some new tools that's come in. I'm going to share those with you. I had to move the stuff outside, even the Karlsson radio alarm drill. I had to move that over, so I got some footage of that. I wanted to share with you how I did that. And I had some work scheduled to be done this week. I wanted to have all of my trees trimmed out on this side of the property right here, and I got some footage of that because I wanted to watch the guys. You know, I always enjoy watching other craftsmen and other tradesmen and seeing how they do their job. So I thought it would be fun to watch those guys, get some video of it, you know, because I had some trees behind the shop right here that I wanted to get trimmed, and I wanted to see how they were going to handle, you know, cutting these big trunks without them crashing over into the shop, and watching them cut them and then lower them down with ropes to the ground. I thought that was pretty interesting, so I got video to share with you of that. So just a different mixture of things that's been going on this week, but I've had plenty of job shop stuff going on, so I think we're going to have a separate episode of machining to share with you, hopefully to follow this SNS. Okay, so we all love drinking our coffee in the morning, right? I know that I do. I enjoy drinking a cup every morning, probably even 2 or 3 of them. So I got a message from Bruce Himes, and he is the owner of Machine Shop Coffee Company, and he's out of Memphis, Tennessee. But he sent a message and asked if I would like to try some of his coffee. So he sent me a sampling of what he's got here. This is they're all medium roast. This one from Colombia. And then we've got another one here from Nicaragua. And this one is from Ethiopia. And this one is from Brazil. So he ground these up for me April the 21st, and he got them in the mail. I've had them for a couple of days. And I switched to a Keurig style coffee maker a couple years ago, so that's what I buy as a little pod. So I actually went out and bought me a little 5-cup coffee maker from Walmart. It was on sale for like $9. So we got a little 5-cup coffee pot out here that I can use. And this is my very first cup using the coffee from Colombia here. And I like it. It's good coffee. You know, I wouldn't call myself a coffee buff, but I like my coffee. You know, anytime we go to breakfast somewhere, I like to get a cup of coffee, and I love a good strong coffee myself. So I actually asked them about a dark roast, and they said they don't keep any dark roast in stock, but they custom make it per order. So if you wanted some dark roast, they'll make some for you. They do have a website called machineshopcoffee.com, so you might want to check that out. And I'm really looking forward to trying all these and enjoying them out here. So thank you very much, Bruce, for the coffee. I placed an order over at FreeLux, I don't know, probably a month or so ago. And so Benjamin, the owner of FreeLux, these are some lights that he developed a little while back, and he's been machining them and building them and selling them. And he CNC machines the aluminum bodies down here, and he's got a magnet in the bottom, so they are magnetic, so you can stick them anywhere. And he uses the lock line so that you can adjust the light beam kind of anywhere you want. Uses a LED light. All right, and then you have 3 different shades, and you don't have to push the button completely down on or off. You just kind of tap it to change to the different brightness. So there's the brightest one right there. So just 3 different levels of the brightness. And this is a nice little tool. I wanted to support him because he is I believe he's got a day job, and then he does this at home. He's got a CNC machine in his garage, and he's been building these things. And I believe he said he's only got whenever I got these, he said he had about 30 of them left. But he's working on a new version of this where he's going to be building all of his own electronics. And it's just going to be like, I'd say, a generation 2 of this FreeLux light. But as I said, it's magnetic, so you can You can stick this thing on anywhere you need. It's a handy little light, and that's why I wanted to get it, so we could use it on the lathe or the mill or wherever we need to. This is really portable, so you can, you know, put it in your pocket if you're working in a closet, or, you know, you don't have to be a machinist. You can be a you know, AC technician and use this somewhere in the closet that you're working in. So I thought this is a nice light that we can use. So and I was happy to support Benjamin and his little quest to build these little LED flashlights. So, and he was kind enough to actually send me 2 of them. I only ordered 1, and you know, he's a fan of the channel, and he and his son watch the videos, and he ended up sending me 2. So thank you very much, Benjamin, for that, and I hope you and your son continue to enjoy the videos there. So here's his sticker. You can find him on Instagram at FreeLux, and he's also got a website, freelux.com. So we got one of your stickers up on the cabinet there, Benjamin. And while he was at it, he sent me this box of high-speed tools right here. He used to have a, I think he had like a South Bend lathe, but he said he had bought a lathe, and I think since then he's sold it. But he had some pieces of high-speed steel that he said he no longer needed, and just threw those in the box and sent them my way. So thank you again for those tools as well, Benjamin. I really appreciate it, and I think this light's going to be excellent, and it's a really good quality tool right here, and I look forward to using it around the shop. These are some plastic tooling trays that were developed and made by Connor Smith. I met him through my friend Tom Utley. They're good buddies, and Connor, I believe, is doing some plastic injection molding, and he's been trying to develop some different useful trays that can be used around the shop for different things. And these are some of the ones that he's come up with on his own that he thinks can be useful around here for different things. So he's got a website, cwsmithandco.com. He's out in Gilbert, Arizona, and he sent me some of his stickers there. So he wanted to send me a few of these to try out and see what I thought. And they're just they're plastic trays, and the way that he's got some of these developed is like these can be used for organizing taps in a drawer, or you can set it, maybe, you know, go set it on your machine if you want to, but you know, you can line you up. He's got them designed so that they go from like 1/4 inch to 5/8, and then you'd have one for coarse thread, for fine thread, and then he's probably got different sizes, or can custom make different sizes if you'd like. So that's pretty cool right there. So you can put your taps there. This one, he says, is for like hand files. I didn't grab a file, but you can lay different files in there. So I think maybe you could probably cut some rubber or something to kind of go up in the bottom to give it a little bit more weight, and keep them in place. But and then this one right here, you can also use. He's got a couple of them there, and you can put some different tools, like set this over on your mill table. If you got different drilling and reaming and tappet operations, you can just, you know, lay your tools in here like so, in between operations. You put your taps in there as well, and it keeps your tools from running around on you, you know, moving around on the table, and of course keeps them up off the table there as well. So those are pretty cool. And this is something else that he sent there as well, called the TIG Torpedo. It's a neat little gadget right here. So what it is, it's like a little canister that you put your tungsten in for TIG welding. So neat little tool right there. So thank you, Connor, for that. That's pretty neat. I appreciate that. And we'll try out the tool trays and see how we like them around here. All right. All right, we're just getting the Karlsson table picked up, and I'm going to put it to bed over here on the Karlsson drill press just to kind of get it out of the way. So this is a good time to kind of give you guys an update of what the drill looks like. I've had it covered up ever since I got it, covered up with a tarp. We haven't done anything with it. It's not plugged in yet. And if you guys might remember, I sprayed it down with the CRC SP350. So if we look underneath the tarp, you can see everything is still nice and wet and oily. It is not rusted any more than it already was. So you can see it looks just fine. There's no problems on it. You can see it's still nice and wet. It looks good. There's no problems with it. Column looks just fine. That rust right there that was already on it whenever I got the machine. So when the day comes, we'll go ahead and do a nice cleanup on the machine and get all the bare metal cleaned up real well. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the table, we're going to roll it right in there with the cherry picker and just set it right there and get it out of the way, and then we'll cover it right back up. By the way, we went ahead and coated the tabletop down with the SP400. That's going to give it the long-term rust inhibitor protection there. It'll dry, leave the waxy coaty film on there, and prevent any rust from forming on that for a very long time. So we already coated it down, but that's what it looks like as you put it down, and that'll work really well. Bottom definitely needs a good cleaning down here. I'm just trying to make sure there's no grit. It's just really oily. I just want to make sure there's no grit down there. I'm gonna have to try to swing it up in there a little bit, I believe. There we go. Alrighty, there she goes. Home sweet home. I got to thank Keith again for giving me a good deal on that table, and now the drill is nice and complete. Well, I keep feeding the addiction right here. I've got 2 more Vises to add to my collection that I have recently picked up. This one right here I got locally over, well, it's over in Alabama, and the other one, the red one there, I just picked it up. It was one that I got that was up in Pennsylvania. One of my viewers saw it and sent me a link to it, so I started a conversation with the seller and worked out a good deal. And then of course I had posted about that on my Facebook page, asking if anybody in the area could possibly help me get it shipped down here. So I did. I had one of my viewers, his name's Dave. He was up there, he was right there in the area, and long-time viewer, and offered to go pick it up for me and take it and drop it off at the Fastenal, because we use the Fastenal 3PL service to have it shipped from Pennsylvania down here to Pensacola. So it's a pretty good affordable way to ship things. It's not the fastest, and it's probably not the cheapest, but it is affordable to use the Fastenal 3PL. So I've got 2 here to unload, and I'm real happy to find them. This guy right here needs a little bit of work. The collar that holds the screw has come loose, and I think the dynamic jaw there is froze up in the body. So that one's going to need a little bit of work, but that might be a fun restoration project, you know. And even if it wasn't me that acquired this would be a great project for anybody. These old tools right there, they're just not made like that anymore, and we need to preserve them. So I have every time I share this kind of stuff, you know, I have people that make comments and ask questions about, or they'll say things like, oh man, not another Vise. And you know, people asking me like, why am I buying Vises? Well, Vises is something that I love. I have a love for them more now than I ever have, and I wish I would have started collecting them when I was younger, but back then I just didn't have the respect for them like I have now. And of course I didn't have very much money when I was younger to be able to afford many tools. So I'm able now to I'm fortunate to be able to pick things like this up every now and then whenever I find one for the good deal, or I'm finding the ones that I want to collect for my personal collection here. And then sometimes I buy them for the sole purpose of, when I get a chance, I'm gonna come out here I'm gonna clean them up, and I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna sell them, make a couple bucks off of it as another way to support the shop here. So that's what I do with some of them. These, this one right here would probably end up being a resale. This guy right here, I don't know if it would be a resale. I might just want to hold on to that one because of the particular model that that one is. But things like this right here, these tools, whether it be Vises or my machinist tools, are what I like to spend my extra money whenever I have extra money to spend after my bills are paid. I like to buy tools, and that's just what I like, you know. Some people like to buy fishing stuff, they like to buy guns and ammo for hunting and shooting. Some guys like to buy lift kits for their trucks, wheels and tires and lights and all kind of stuff that costs thousands of dollars. I mean, this is what I spend my money on. I like to buy tools, and there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy them, they make me happy, I like working on them, and I like to help preserve them for the future as well. So that's what I have to say about that. When people ask me, why am I buying Vises, why am I buying tools, it's because it's what I like, it's what I'm into, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm gonna get the table out here, I'm gonna try to get these things unloaded, and I'll give you a little better look at them too. All right, we got them off the truck and onto the bench right here. So there's our number 406, and then this is our smaller number 104 and a half. Right there is where it says 104 and a half. Probably hard to see there because of the shadowing. So we'll start with the 104 right here, and as I was saying, it's got a problem. So you see the handle will screw out, right? So what it is that the collar, if you look under the bottom there's actually a collar that goes right here, and that's what keeps it, that's what pulls this jaw out with it. So evidently it looks like it might have been a set screw that held it in. I'm not really sure, but this jaw is kind of locked into the main body, so it needs to be pressed apart. So what we'll do is just, you know, we'll completely unscrew and get the spindle out of there, and then I'll set it up and see about getting it pressed out. And that's still a perfectly good vise. Once those repairs are made, wire brushed and oil it down, maybe put a coat of paint on it. And this is our 406, and it still works really good. It's got a bent handle, one of the common things that you see with Vises. So that tells you right there, anytime you see a bent handle, somebody has put a pipe or something on this and put more leverage on there, which is not something that you should ever do to a vise. These things are designed so that you apply the torque to this handle with your hand only. You never put a cheater pipe on that to tighten it up. So that's not a problem though. We can actually straighten that in the press and just keep using that right there just like it is. So the 400 series, of course the 6 is the jaw, so 6-inch wide jaw. The 4 series is the rear rotating jaw right here. So you see this guy right here, this is a bolt, and this is not what's supposed to be in here, but the guy that I got it from said that this bolt was in this vise whenever he found it. And that's what was what was interesting about this particular vise right here, is the guy that got it said that he got it out of the scrap pile where he worked and brought it home, and that was 30 years ago. He bolted it to his bench and he's used it ever since, and I guess he's got to where he doesn't ever use it anymore, so he decided to sell it and make a little money off of it. So he said it was just like this as he got it. He's never done anything to it. So it had this bolt in it, which is incorrect, but that's the bolt. So it's supposed to have a taper pin in there to hold that rear jaw. That's how they're made. And you can see right here, the rear jaw swivels. Let's open it up a little bit. So you have a rear swiveling jaw, and that's so that you can clamp in pieces that are not perfectly square. You know, if you got more of a tapered or triangular shaped piece, you can clamp that in there. Just pull the pin and then let that rotate. So what's really cool about this is that we got our 406. So let me show you something. All right, we come in here to the welding area. You guys might remember this right here. This is our original vise. This is also a reed 406. There's the reed right there. Then you got the number 406 right there on that side. So this is one of the original vices to our shop. This was my granddad's and my dad's. All right. And you can see there's the pin. You got the rear swiveling jaw. It's the same model, same size, 6-inch. So that's the tapered pin. So this is the pin that's missing out of the other vise. It's just a tapered hole there that you put that in. Just kind of knock it in there with a hammer if you want to. I never do it. I just stick it in there just like that. But so we actually have a sample. That's what's really cool about this. So I have this sample right here. It's probably got plenty of wear on it because that is an old vise. That's the old bull nose, which is older than this one right here. This is the flat nose. But there's our tapered pin. It doesn't fit it perfectly, but it fits it. So I can use this as a sample and actually make one to fit that hole and get rid of the old bolt that the millwrights put in there. So while we're out here talking about our new vices, this is another new one that I just recently picked up. So this is a Rock Island, and I believe it was a 4 or 4.5 inch wide jaw. But the funny thing about this one is that it does not have a model number on the side right there. They usually have a model number, and some of them actually have a tag that they put on there, but this one doesn't have it. But it's in excellent condition, works perfectly. And the only thing that's missing is down here on our locking mechanism. It's missing the little handle right there. So I'm just showing you. You can loosen it up, pivot it around. So I need to make one of these guys, you know, make a little locking handle that'll go in there and get that one fixed up. And that one's a really good clean vise. This is one that I found locally in a pawn shop and got it for a good deal too. And then this is my Athol right here. This is one that I got from Andrew Alexander a while back. This was the first tool that I got from him. It is the Athol 615. We did a little horse deal trade on that. So he sent me the Athol and then I sent him some other tools. So we're continuing to build our humble little collection of vices, and I absolutely love it. I love collecting these, and it's always a thrill whenever you find one and can get it for a good price and add it to the collection here. I need to move the Karlsson drill press, which is right there covered up. I need to move it, and then the other things that I have on the concrete right there. I'm just going to move everything over to this other side because I got a tree service coming, and what I want them to do is my entire property side, all of these trees here, and I got a couple more pecan trees behind the shop. I want my entire property side cleaned out, cut off, because I'm just tired of the mess that these trees make all the time. There's just leaves and all this stuff that it puts out. And then that other tree over there, that big tree that's in the middle of the property, is a mulberry tree. So, you know, it puts out crops of those blackberries, and it just makes an absolute mess. Plus I've got my power line running right through the middle of it there. So I'm just ready to have all of these trees cut down. The trees will not be completely removed, but everything that's on my property side is going to be removed. So they want to they've got a boom or something. They asked if they could back in right here to be able to help get these pecan trees down out of the way. So I told them that I would move these pieces of equipment that's on the slab out. So that's what I'm about to do. I've got 2 pallet jacks right there, and we're going to use both pallet jacks. I've never used 2 pallet jacks at one time, So that's what I think is going to work. I'll put both pallet jacks underneath that and lift it up and be able to pull them and hopefully move that drill press and just roll it straight over here out of the way. Looks like she's doing pretty good. Still nice and oiled up, and it's not rusting. Putting that CRC rust inhibitor all over it. Okay. This is going to be interesting. Oh. Look at that. I think it's going to work. Seems to be working. Just got to make sure I pull them straight. That's the main thing. Just moving them to the other side. I'm going to get it all the way over there, close to that side as I can. All right, the tree crew showed up. They're getting ready to trim my tree line out over there. I'm having them take everything off my property line. Well, as much as they can get anyway. There might be a little bit left up there that they can't get, or that they might need to leave. I'm having them take those pecan trees down back there as well. So we got 4 pecan trees, a catawba tree, and a mulberry tree. They're cleaning out my property side. these two are coming down. Guys are just about done. They're just cleaning up the last little bit. Getting a lot better. Now my power line doesn't have a bunch of trees around it. Alrighty, they got it all done. So what I wanted was my side, my property line right there, cleaned out. All these trees were coming, and they were coming all the way over here. I mean, way over here in the property. And this is a mulberry tree here, so it makes a huge mess out here every year with all the berries and stuff. And that catawba tree blossoms, and it puts out a bunch of flowers, makes a big mess. And of course the pecan trees, they put out pecans, and then they shed every year too. There's still some of that stuff up in there that's still shedding, and it just gets all over the concrete. But anyway, I wanted it cleaned out too, also because of the power line. You can see the power line there going to the pole. So I'm really happy with this now. Got it cleaned out. I won't have such a mess down here every year on the concrete. So in case anyone's wondering, in Florida, anything that's on your property, even if it's growing in the neighbor's yard, if it's on your property, wherever your property line is, anything on your side, you are allowed to cut, and you're liable for as well. So say a tree's growing in my yard and it falls over on the neighbor's property, well, it's actually they're liable for it, not me. It's kind of funny how it works, but that's just how it works. There's a lot of hurricanes have hit this state, so that's how they've got it figured out. So you can go down your property line and cut everything you want that's hanging in your yard. So I'll get back there, and there's some smalls back there in the very back. I'm going to clean that up later on, but I'm happy with it. It looks really good.